Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we are going to be proceeding. I'm going to be tackling this component number 8. This is component number 8 as shown in this picture. I've left component number 5 and number 7 because I thought I should just tackle, or I should just go for the bull's eye. Now this is the big thing right here. So component number 8, once you get component number 8, all these components 1 to 8, you must not have a problem with them. So I'm just going to be tackling or going for the bull's eye and design component number 8. Going to be introducing more new concepts right there. And like we said in the first lectures, how do we tackle this component? First things first, the process plan. It comes first, and there we've got a lot of features here, but I'm going to be designing this thing from the front view, or the front indicated by the arrow X. I'm going to start making the semicircle at the bottom. I'll make the cylindrical protrusion that I have on top. After that, I'll make some tangents. I'll create this web of the component right here, extrude it and mirror it to get the other part, and can make the middle part, the rectangular part, mid part of this component. I can cut the inside rectangular component, and then I will sort out this part which consists of a semicircle and a rectangle, like that, in that manner. So basically this is my process plan, and like I said, process plan differs on how you view this component. You can view this thing in some other way depending on the options or how well you have understood this software. You can tackle this component in different angles, and we say that the minimum number of steps, or the process plan with the least steps, makes a very good component. Or that's, in other words, I can say it is more preferred to have the minimum steps in our process plan. But I'm going to be sticking with this. This is the way I view it, and you can create it in any way that you want. Okay, so let's go dive right in. This time you're designing from the front and making the semicircles first. I'm gonna make this bottom part as 2 circles, so that I don't waste a lot of time in creating some semicircles. I'll create it like that, and then I'll modify some values. Okay, now let me see. This outer part is 42 in radius, which means it's 84 in diameter. This is 22, and that is 44. So 84 and 44. I'm just going to be allocating like that. The outer part is 84, and 44. Regenerate, and then we're done. But before I cut, let me just make a line from this part to divide these semicircles. Just going to be cutting it like that, and then I'm happy. What is now left is to trim any unwanted parts. So I'm just going to be using the trim option. Select that. Select also that. I think I'm happy. No more sections right here. Unwanted sections. So I can safely extrude this semicircle. Where's the extrude option? Yes, here's the extrude option. I can safely extrude, and I want to extrude centrally in a symmetric manner, a distance of what? So a distance of 50 plus 50, which is 100. You can also put 50 plus 50, but it's a simple calculation. I can just enter 100 straight away. Then I am happy with that. That's it. The bottom part has been made. I'll select this surface or this face, and then I'll go back into the sketch mode. I'm going to make the upper cylindrical protrusion that I have right there. So these are two concentric circles, and then I'm just going to be modifying their values. What is the first part? The first part is got a diameter of 42 and the inside is 18. So that's 42 outside and inside is 18. And what do we have here? We need to now specify the center to center distance. This is 112 as indicated right there. 112. Let's refit to view everything, and I think I'm happy, and we can click done. Now this part I'm going to extrude it again to 100 centrally, distance of 100. Not centrally as such. I think I have not making this right. Yes, this part. It's not centrally because I did not create this thing from the front plane right here. I could have done that. And then I'm gonna click done. I think I'm happy. Now let's go back and let's revisit some dimensions. Now I want you to see something. From this part to this part is 50, and from this part to this part is 72. That means this face here is not at the same plane with this face here of the semicircular base that we are having. So that means actually I could have created these semicircles on this front plane in the middle part here, and then I'll just have extruded this thing in a symmetric manner to 72. That's what's going to be a very good practice, but I've made that error, and how best can we rectify that error? So that means I'm going to slice inwards this surface a distance of what? From here to here is 36, and from here to this surface is 50 as indicated right there. So that means I have to remove a distance of 14 of these semicircles, you see. So we are going to be rectifying this design again by selecting these surfaces and going back into the sketch mode and clicking sketch, going back into the sketch mode, selecting this as one reference and this one, click OK, clicking that one is that, and selecting these two circles. In other words, I've just redrawn these two circles because I'm going to be removing material this time. A distance of 1, I have to remove material, a distance of 14. A distance of 14 right here. And then I can zoom to see that that's done, and then I can mirror the same operation or extrusion about this plane. So that is done. I want you to know that this step was not necessary. We could have created these circles at the front plane and we could just have extruded them centrally at a distance of 72. This step could have been avoided, but I wanted to show you that once you make a mistake, there are several ways of rectifying that mistake. Alright, so this is one of it. One of them is, I'm not saying it's part and parcel of the diagram, it's just an extra step which tends to which can make or lengthen your process plan, like I said previously. So with this done now, we need to make the web of the component. This web of the component. Now there's no plane at this point which we can use in creating this web. I'm going to make one of these webs, and then I'm going to be mirroring it about the central plane right then. So what are we going to do? We're going to make a plane of our own. Now that's a very important concept which is the making of a datum plane. So the datum plane option, or creating of your own plane, which is apart from the principal plane given by default by the software, we can select that option just below the sketching tool is highlighted there. So we are going to be creating a datum plane from the front, and then let me see the distance. So from this plane here, which is in the middle, I have to create a plane right at this edge. And I know that from this middle plane to here, it is the radius of this outer circle, which is 18. So I am going to make a datum plane from the front plane, create a datum plane with a distance of 18. With a distance of 18 in this is the right direction. Yes, if you wanted it to be on the other side, you're going to put minus 18. It was going to reverse this direction, but I want it to the front, the direction which has been indicated here by the arrow. Now I'm click done. So this is datum plane DTM1 that I have. So I'm going to be designing from the datum plane DTM1, which is already selected or highlighted in red. I'll enter the sketch mode, and then I'll make a sketch. So the datum plane is a very important tool that I'm going to be introducing, that I've actually introduced in this section. So I'm going to make a line from this circle here. It's not highlighted. It shows that I have not selected it as a reference. So let me put my references. I need this circle as a reference. I also need this circle as a reference. And then I'm going to click OK and close. Selecting the line option again, let me just make a line from here to here. Now this has been constrained by the software as T, showing that the line is making a tangent with this outer circle at the base. I'm going to select it and click OK. This line is actually tangential to this circle and this circle again. But this circle, it has made a tangent already, but it's not making a tangent with this circle. So I'm going to make a constraint to show that the relationship between this line and this outer circle, these two entities are tangential to one another. Where can I do that? I can pick that option from this part. These are constraints. So I can select, these are the number of constraints that you can make. You can make center, you can make a perpendicular constraint, you can make a tangential constraint, a midpoint, coincident point on the same entry, parallel components. But here I want a tangential constraint. I'll select this. So it's actually saying here, select the two entries to make them tangent, which is this line and this circle. Yes, and as you can see, highlighted by a T. The line is joining those two entities tangentially. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do the same thing on this part. So tangent, click OK. Repeat the same thing. Make this and this a tangent. They are on the same point. Now I need to make these circular parts right here. I'm going to be selecting an arc. I'm going to be selecting an arc with a center and ends, because this is the center of the arc and this is the two ends. So I'm going to be selecting this option, and it is saying select the center of the arc. The center of the arc is here. What is the then it's now saying select the start point of the arc, which is this part, and now selecting the end point of the arc, which is this part. So that is done. I'm going to do that on this bottom part, selecting this center, selecting this as the starting point, and going with the circle to select this as the end point. So now created this component. Now it's time to extrude this component. Yes, it is extruding in the right part, in the right direction, but to a distance of what? To a distance of 10. Distance of 10. I'll click done, and I'll mirror this component about the front plane to get it to the other side. That's it. That's it. So that's done. Now I'm going to make the rectangle, closing this part with a rectangle. The rectangle that we see here, rectangular block that we see in the middle part. No, so the rectangle is lying on this plane here. So I'm going to be selecting this plane. It's orienting differently, so let me orient it from the top. Sketch. Let me make some references. So I'm going to make some references. I need this edge. I also need this edge. I also need this edge. I also need this edge, because these are the 4 edges of the rectangle that I find in the middle part right there. Select the rectangle. This is the first point and this is the other part. It must not give me a component to dimension right there. I don't know why it is giving, if it is actually using all the edges right there. It just shows that there is something wrong. So let me redo this rectangle. Let me see if I've selected all the proper references. And the other ones, I think they are perfectly done. Okay. Now let me make this rectangle again. So from this part to this part. Yes, done. And if that is done properly, it must not give me any side to dimension, because all the sides of that define this rectangle have been referenced. If you're happy with that, we click done and we extrude this component in a symmetric manner to a distance of what? To a distance of 10 right there. Let me put 10. That's it. That's this part. And click done. Now let's bow this rectangle. Entering into the sketch mode again and sketching. I'm going to be sketching a rectangle. Going to be sketching this rectangle. But this rectangle has been defined as this side is 30 and this side, this is a 30 by 24, so that means this side is 24 and we're going to be boring it to 10. This side also is 12. So let me see right here, and I've been given this total side. I don't need to find this total side. Let me put a dimension of my own, which is from here to here. which is 12, and automatically this other one will vanish away. This one is 30. I'm going to be modifying these values, and this side is 24. Hope it's going to come perfectly well, and this must be 12 again, because it's going to be half of 24 to make this rectangle symmetric. If you're happy, you click done. You bow this by removing material into the right direction. That's a through hole. You click done. Alright, now let's go back to this diagram. This is a very long diagram, but that's the way to designing it. I want you to see something. These vertices of this rectangle, inside rectangle that we have bored, they are actually curved, but they are not telling us what is the curvature or what is the magnitude of those fillets on all those 4 corners. We're going to assume that all the 4 corners of this rectangle, they have been filleted or rounded in that manner. So I am going to be coming to this mode, and then I'm going to be selecting the round option, and then I'm going to be selecting the inside part. The inside edge is right here. Using the control button, I'm going to be selecting all the 4 vertices. Then I'm just going to be rounding this to a distance of 3. I'm just going to be assuming, this is assumed information. Yes, they have been perfectly rounded. Yes, that's good. I think I'm happy. Now let's go to the last part, or the last feature of this component, which is this part here. It consists of a rectangle and a semicircle. So what am I going to do? I am going to create a datum plane at this point, at this edge here. Create one of these, and then I'm going to be mirroring that about the central plane. So I'm going to make a datum plane from this middle plane, which is going to be situated at a distance of what? This is going to be a distance of, I don't want it as 60. No, I can actually make it a distance of 60 from this face here. Then I can make it a datum plane here. I can actually make here at this surface, at this center here. So that is 60. That's why I'm going to making this this datum plane. Okay. So let me make, from this surface here, I'm going to create another datum plane. And the distance, translation distance, is going to be 60. Click OK. So this is going to be datum plane number 2. And it is selected or highlighted in red, which means it is selected, and then I'm going to be sketching from that. Let me make some sketch references. I need this part as a reference, and I think I also need this edge as a reference, and I think I also need this edge as a reference. Okay, and close. Because these are going to be the guiding edges of my rectangle, and then I will need this as 25. Right, now let me make this rectangle from this edge. Okay, and here I'm going to be putting 25, which is the depth of the rectangle. Then I'm going to be clicking OK. Then I'll extrude this rectangle. As you can see here, I will extrude it using the extrude to the next surface option. So to extrude it until this rectangular component meets the curved part of this rectangle here. I think I'm happy. Now you can also mirror this. So that's it. Click done. You can even mirror this about this central plane right there, and then I will select this surface here. Then I'll get into the sketch mode. Now I'm going to make the semicircular part, which is a distance of what? This is a distance of 18. This outer circle here is a distance of 18, at a radius 18, or in other words, that's a diameter of 36. So that's a circle. I'm going to create a circle, but this part is not been referenced. Let's make this edge and this edge as a reference. I'm going to click OK and done. Select that as the center, and I've also not referenced these other edges. No problem. I can dimension them. And we actually said that the diameter of this circle is 36. You could have also referenced this. Once this circle was going to be incident, the edges here, it was going to be snapped to that, but still no problem. I think I'm happy with the semicircle, and then I'm going to be extruding it the right direction at distance of 25, which is also the same depth with a rectangle. If you're happy with that, you can also mirror this about this central plane, so that we can ensure what we do on one side done on the other side. Looking so perfectly well. Now the last thing is to drill these holes. Now these holes, they are concentric circles. So I'm going to make this as a reference. I'm going to click OK and then close. Now let's make these circles. The circles, they have got a diameter of 16. You can refer to this diagram. Happy with that, drill this component, remove the material in the right direction. That's a through hole. We are done with that, and we can also mirror it about this plane. Make sure that it's also done on the other side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is your component number 8. So many steps, but that's the only way to design this. That's the only way to design it. A little bit tiresome, but that's the cost of design. That is the cost of design, and I'm happy with it. I think you have learned a number of things here in tackling the so-called intimidating components, and it has been reproduced using 3D modeling option of our CAD. Okay, so if you're happy with this, I would want you to reproduce the same diagrams again in your CAD as practice. Make sure that you also tackle component number 5 and component number 7, which are the two components that I've left out here. And you must be able to tackle them using all the concepts that I've covered in these diagrams or in these components that I've made. Okay, that's not the end of CAD. We are going to be moving into another segment, which is machine assembly. I think I've talked a lot about 3D part designing. We're now moving into assembling a machine. How can we assemble a machine? Making different parts and assembling them to build a single machine. So I'll see you in the next lecture. All right.